What you're about to watch is a completely raw, basically unedited, and basically uncut version of a Michigan fan's reaction to this week's game for the Michigan Wolverines. So if you're a fan of this football team and you want to join in on the joys of winning as well as the sorrows of losing every single tough away game and every game against the Ohio State Buckeyes, go ahead and subscribe right here. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of the Michigan sports action. Now, without further ado, here's that reaction you came for. Enjoy. Alright, one thing I didn't account for was the fact that I was going to be like this every single week for the entirety of the season. Michigan falls to 2-4, and I have to be negative once again. I try not to be. I really try not to be. But what else do you want from me at this point? What else could you possibly want from me? You're being negative too, right? You're a Michigan fan? Look what we've been seeing. The Harbaugh apologists have got to go. You got to stop apologizing for Jim Harbaugh. You got to stop apologizing for the players. They're stinking, okay? You don't have to be overcritical of them, but at this point, they deserve the criticism. It's there, it's warranted, it's for a reason, okay? Anybody watching football can see these guys don't know what they're doing. Case in point, and I'll get to this later in further detail, but case in point, there was a point in the game where it was 3rd and 3 for Michigan. We had a running back lined up behind Joe Milton, I think was in the game at the time, and I called it all day. I said we're going to run a draw right up the middle to Hassan Haskins, I believe it was. Sure enough, we do it. He only gains 1 yard because it was clear as day. So the defense is right there where they need to be because they know it's coming. I know it's coming. Everybody who's watched tape on Michigan, which guess what? It's 2020. Penn State's watched tape on Michigan coming into this game. They knew it was coming. It was obvious. Couldn't have been more clear. That brings it to like 4th and 2. My buddy who streams the games with me, he's mad because we don't end up going for it because we didn't get it earlier on 4th and 2. So hey, if you don't get it earlier, you can't go for it again, right? Wrong. You can do whatever you want to do. We were at like the 42-yard line. We probably should have gone for it. But even before that, on that 3rd and 3, we should not have run a draw play. Michigan is so predictable. This is the first time that I'm going to be on Josh Gaddis's behind because he needs it. You need to be gone, Josh Gaddis, just as bad as the other guys need to be gone. You promised us speed and space. You promised us creativity. You promised us innovativeness. We've seen none of it. All we've seen is stupid call after stupid call after stupid call. The one thing you got right today, was you let one guy get the bulk of the carries for a change instead of running a 4-party system. I've said over and over again, Michigan has 4 very talented running backs, so I understand where it's coming from, but I definitely agree with the fact that one guy has to be the main horse. I thought Hassan Haskins should be the main horse. I think after Hassan Haskins, it should be Blake Corum. Haskins goes 17 carries for 101 yards, 5.9 yards per carry today, 2 touchdowns. Chris Evans, 4 carries, 35 yards, 8.8 yards per carry. Blake Corum, 3 carries for 27 yards, 9 yards per carry. Ultimately, Michigan had 27 carries for 174 yards for 6.4 yards per carry. Again, people told me in the comments earlier, Michigan couldn't run the ball. They were down by too much. This was talking about against Wisconsin. But it's like, hey man, this is what's working. I get it when Wisconsin got out of hand, but we weren't running the ball beforehand. We need to stick to the run if we're doing it well. 6.4 yards per carry is well, as opposed to the pass where Cade McNamara was 12 for 25 for 91 yards. Joe Milton was 1 for 3 for 21 yards. Ultimately, we were 13 for 28 for 112 yards. Not a good day at all. Again, there was a guy in the comments who said something like, Cade was hurt, give him a break. Well, if he was hurt, then the coaching staff shouldn't have been playing him. Another mistake by the coaching staff. They continue to make mistake after mistake after mistake. They don't know what they're doing, guys. Stop apologizing for him. I'll say it again. 5K subscribers, I will do a 24-hour marathon if StreamYard lets me. I still have to check up on that. A 24-hour marathon of saying fire Jim Harbaugh on conference championship weekend. That's if we have 5K subscribers on the Sunday after the Ohio State game, but I digress. Let's look at the stats really quick. I just went over Michigan's pass yards, 112, compared to Penn State's 163, so not a huge discrepancy there. Clifford didn't play particularly well as far as passing the ball goes. He did run the ball well, 9 carries for 73 yards. In fact, Penn State ran the ball well in general, 50 carries for 254 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, but guess what? We had 6.4 yards per carry, so there wasn't a huge discrepancy there. They just ran the ball more. The one thing that they really did have a discrepancy in was they had Parker Washington go for 9 receptions for 93 yards. Our best receiver was Ronnie Bell at 4 receptions for 40 yards. But ultimately, most things were relatively even. Where they weren't even, and this is where we really hurt ourselves and shot ourselves in the foot. Michigan's coaching staff, the offensive coaching staff, thinks we have 100 drives. Thinks we have 100 opportunities, I guess. Because 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts, we did not convert. And we called really crappy play calls for those. So the total yardage was 417 to 286, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that Penn State was sustaining drives. Michigan could not pick up the first down when they needed it. And we didn't sustain drives, because if you sustain drives, you get the total yardage a little bit closer, you get the total gap between the score a little bit closer, and you possibly win the football game. But we didn't pick up first downs because we think we have all day. It reminds me a lot of, you know, the guy when you're playing pickup basketball and he's scoring in bunches. He can score at will anytime he wants to, but he doesn't play any defense, so he's also giving up just as many points on the defensive end of things. That's what Michigan did today. They're like, you know what, we'll just keep going with them. We'll keep going with them. It's no big deal. We don't need to pick up first downs. We don't need to stop them on 3rd down. We don't need to pick up things on 3rd down. It is what it is. We won't take advantage of opportunities. We did a great job putting ourselves in 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s, 4th and 2s, 4th and 1s, you name it. We did a great job putting ourselves in those situations, and we didn't want to pick them up because we run bland play calls like draws right up the middle that everybody and their mother can see. And because of it, we lost the football game. Case in point, first downs for Penn State, 25. For Michigan, 14. We were 4 for 12 on 3rd down. We were 1 for 3 on 4th down. They were 8 for 16, or 50% on 3rd down. They did not have to try anything on 4th down. So we were 33.3% on 3rd and 4th downs. They were 50%. That's a huge discrepancy. That could pretty much explain why the game was the way it was, because we only had 1 penalty for 10 yards. They had 5 for 30, so we won that battle. We only had 1 turnover compared to 0. That's not a big enough of a discrepancy to say, hey, that's why they won. It's 3rd and 4th downs. It is what it is. It's 3rd and 4th downs. We didn't want to pick them up. They wanted it more, and they got it because they were a little bit more creative on those downs. They got a little bit more push on those downs. Why do we keep running that draw up the middle with 4 new offensive linemen? I'll say it again. Why do we keep running that draw up the middle with... Yes, I'll say it again. Why do we keep running that draw up the middle with 4 new offensive linemen? It doesn't make sense. This is an inexperienced group. We got to figure out a better way to do things. You can't just run it up the middle in the Big Ten with 4 new linemen, with 4 undersized new linemen. Well, Chuck Filiaga is not really undersized, but the other guys are, and they're inexperienced. It's not a good idea. It's not good coaching. Josh Gaddis, all of a sudden, Don Brown's been on my hot seat, Jim Harbaugh's been on my hot seat. All of a sudden, Josh Gaddis is right there sitting next to them. He doesn't look like what he promised us. He promised us speed and space. He promised us creativity. He promised us this new era of football that we saw when he was at Alabama, that we saw when he was at Penn State. We saw a lot of things out of Josh Gaddis. We thought he was going to be the guy here at Michigan. Guess what? He has not been the guy. We thought Jim Harbaugh was going to be the guy. He has not been the guy. We thought Don Brown was going to be the guy. He has not been the guy. Nobody has been the guy at Michigan. Who wants it at Michigan? Phil's arguing for a new, young, up-and-coming coach, but he can't give me a name, so that's pretty vague. Phil, if you're watching this, give me a name. It's fine, I get it. We want a young and up-and-coming coach like Lincoln Riley. Great, but who is that guy? Because I don't want just some kind of vague answer like, ooh, young and up-and-coming. Yeah, I get it. That's what I want too, but you got to pick the right guy, and I don't think Ward Manuel can pick that guy. The guy I'm naming is Chris Peterson. He's not young and up-and-coming, but he's a great, innovative coach, and he knows how to earn the respect of his players, and he can recruit when he wants to. So that's that. That's the guy I want. Who do you want? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know, we got Maryland and Ohio State our next 2 games. What's our record in the next 2 games? Don't go off of emotion. Don't go off of anything else. Do you think we're going to win against Maryland and lose against Ohio State? That's what I think. But what do you think? 0-2, 1-1, or 2-0? Is anybody really voting 2-0? I seriously doubt it. That's the end of this video here on Intermittent Sports, where we cover the Detroit Lions, Detroit Pistons, Detroit Tigers and Michigan Wolverines. Lucky for us, this might be one of the last videos for the Michigan Wolverines as we fall to 2-4. We're out of any kind of contention. Do we even make a bowl game this year? I don't know. I hope not. I don't want to be embarrassed in that as well. That's the end. That's what I'm thinking. I think you're thinking much of the same. Let me know in the comments below the answer to my 2 questions. Until next time, guys, we'll see you soon. We got some videos coming out next week, as well as the Maryland coverage, and whoever Detroit loses to next plays next. By the way, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn fired. Got to be happy about that at least. Have a great day and a blessed Sunday. We'll see you guys soon.